going to be playing our old favourite Volcanion, which I have been around. There is not much Volcanion here today.
No, not too much, but it's even better to see that there are still players that are able to navigate this deck this far. And here we can see Toby Woolner from the UK. We've seen him on stream quite often. He's featuring that 4 Buzzwole GX deck. I'm so curious to see how this one works out.
Although, funnily enough, he's still playing Zoroark. He's got a 3-2 line of Zoroark GX. He's got 3 Zorua, 2 Zoroark GX, 1 Zoroark. He's got some Regirock in there, and like you say, he's got those 4 Buzzwole. I ran into Toby walking around the venue earlier today. I didn't have time to stop and chat, but I did give him a crisp high five.
And here we go, another high five, or at least a handshake, to kick us off round number 80 on day 1 in the International Championships. Toby Woolner going first here with 2 Zorua and an Ultra Ball.
And it doesn't look like he's playing a Buzzwole deck right now. It looks like he's playing a Zoroark deck. I mean, that really is the biggest story coming out of today, is just the domination of Zoroark. Now, we do see Ultra Ball coming down there for a Buzzwole. Now, this is not going to be a Bridget, I don't think. When you've already got 3 good Pokemon outside of a Tapu Lele, you generally don't need a Bridget. He's actually going for the little used Lily card.
Lily it is, so 8 cards he'll have in hand after playing that one. There's Buzzwole GX with the choice band, and here we go, Lily for 8 cards in total, and we can see some strong energy, which he likes to see a lot.
Now, he's gone for that strong energy. One thing that's very interesting to note about Eemeli's deck, he is playing 2 Enhanced Hammer. So Toby is going to have to be incredibly careful about playing those strong energy, because if he plays them at the wrong time, he's going to lose them.
Yeah, and Eemeli, we hope at least we are pronouncing that name correctly, is playing an N. He doesn't want Toby to have a big hand like he's accomplished himself, getting with the Lily and playing the N immediately. He needs to find something, though, because Uranguru is weak against fighting. So if Toby is going to get something next turn, like strong energy or so, he is threatening to pick up the KO or maybe the whole game already.
Well, the good news for Eemeli is that there are no Fighting Fury bouts in Toby's list.
However,
now,
Regirock.
Oh, there is Regirock, though. You're absolutely right. So a strong energy and a Regirock would mean he would be doing 60 damage with Jet Punch, which would then do 120 with the weakness and get the KO. Good news, there is another Pokemon going down, a Turtonator with a Fire Energy.
It really is good news because Toby has everything in hand here. There's a Float Stone, so it's going to be interesting to see if Eemeli decides to retreat it. Yes, he does. So he says, yeah, Turtonator is going to take a punch here.
Yep, a Jet Punch to be specific. Doesn't want to be giving up that damage, but you cannot let them hit the Oranguru, take the knockout there. And of course, Oranguru has got that brilliant Instructability that allows you to draw until you've got 3 cards in your hand. That can be incredibly useful some turns for getting that card advantage. You want it staying on. 1 energy, 70 damage.
Plus 30 on the bench, so 100 damage. This Buzzwole GX reminds us of course, Landorus. We've seen a similar Pokemon before, at least a similar attack, but there we go. Enhanced Hammer, you were talking about this earlier.
Absolutely, I was. It's a good play, getting rid of that strong energy. Now, we do see another Fire Energy there, and as much as Toby's not playing Fighting Fury Bout, Eemeli actually is playing Fighting Fury Bout. Pops it down that Turtonator, gives it 230 HP, which is very needed, to be frank, because that Buzzwole does a lot of damage very, very quickly.
Yeah, the Shell Trap is going to be able to buy him some time because it would make Toby's attack not worthwhile, as Buzzwole would take 8 damage counters from attacking with Jet Punch, so it would deal as much damage as it will take from the attack, and I'm really curious to see if Toby is deciding to go for the attack, if he can.
Well, it's a very awkward situation. Ideally, when this happens, you want to play something like a Guzma or an Escape Rope or maybe Pokemon Ranger, but I don't think anybody's actually playing Pokemon Ranger anymore to negate that effect of the attack or hit a bench Pokemon, which essentially does the same thing. As it is at the moment, though, he doesn't have much choice, so does he attack with a Zoroark and take the 8 damage counters? Does he attack with a Buzzwole and take the 8 damage counters? he can do a fair amount of damage, but he's taking a fair amount of damage back. And I love this play from Eemeli here, using this shell trap, basically saying, look, you're trying to win by overwhelming me with a multitude of small attacks. Well, I'm going to make you really pay for every small attack you do.
Yeah, unfortunately, he missed on a max elixir there. He is playing 15 fire and he wasn't able to find one in the 6 cards. And now he used that shell trap, and Toby will have a decision here during his turn. He has various options. He could even attach a double colorless to one of the Zoroark GX. He also can trade. But here we go. You were announcing it. Guzma comes up and the Zoroark GX on Toby's side.
And now he's got the double colorless energy in hand. He can use that riotous beating, which will do the full 120, given that he's got a full bench. Does unfortunately mean that 30 damage from the previous jet punch has been entirely negated, but it takes away the Oranguru. It means that he's taken a prize, and it means that Eemeli is going to be struggling in the mid to late game. Maybe an end from Toby could be very, very punishing, just turning off that instructability. So he's taken a prize, which is good. And now, Eemeli saw how much Toby didn't want to take the damage from Shell Trap, but it looks like he's instead going for a Bright Flame here. Downside, unless he gets a Volcanion EX or two, he's not taking a one-hit KO. He's doing 170, so he will need 2 steam ups from Volcanion EX in order to get a KO here, and I don't think he's hit that with the cards he's got, unfortunately.
Yeah, 2 fire energy, yeah, that was part of the puzzle, but only 1 Volcanion EX, nothing to search himself, a second one, 2 Fighting Fury, but another max elixir. That's not going to do him any good.
Unfortunately, right now, he could be using Bright Flame for 200. 200 is an awful lot of damage, but it's not enough damage to KO a Zoroark GX, unfortunately. It's sad, but that's the way it is. He's going to be 10 damage short. It's a price you pay for playing Fighting Fury Belt over playing Choice Band. With a Choice Band right now, Eemeli will be getting the KO very easily. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a Choice Band. He has a Fighting Fury Belt, so he gets that extra bulk, which is lovely, but he doesn't get as much extra damage, and that is hurting him right now. So, I mean, a Kiawe would be great here, but he's already played a Sycamore, so he can't. Might even be worth maybe just using something like the non-EX Volcanion, just doing a little power heater and getting some damage going. But he has gone for Bright Flame there.
There's the Bright Flame, and now a trade from Toby. Ideally, Toby would find an Acerola. He would deny immediately everything that Eemeli has been working on last turn by picking up the Zoroark GX. Doesn't find Acerola though, but this is why he's retreating with the double colorless energy manually, and now again, Jet Punch is coming in.
Absolutely it is. 30 to the active, 30 to the bench. I say 30 to the active. We all know by now that it's actually 70, because you add 20 for the strong energy and 10 for each of the Regirock. One thing that is interesting about leaving that Zoroark on 10 HP remaining, a power heater without any steam ups from the non-EX Volcanion will get a 2-prize knockout while accelerating 2 energy to the bench. So sometimes if you've got a really good attack that you want to do for other reasons, like power heater, but doesn't do much damage, this can be a good way of doing so. Of course, now he'll need a Guzma as well to pull that off. Oh,
speaking of which...
And I would be very surprised here if he didn't just go for the non-EX Volcanion and just use the power heater, gets 2 energy from the discard, and we saw that he just used Bright Flame last turn, discarding 2 fire energy, so a really good turn here. And you talked about getting the Ace Roller from Toby. He only plays 1 in his deck. He had 1 turn to find it. He couldn't find it. And this is what we're seeing a lot in the Pokemon trading card game at the moment, the interaction of, can I find a Guzma before you can find an Ace Roller?
Yeah, and Toby's not only giving up 2 prize cards, but he's also losing Zoroark GX and the ability to trade in. There's another Zora now in his hand. He just drew it, but he has to wait another turn at least to, again, trade in and give him back that drawing engine that he had without wasting a supporter card.
And we've talked a lot this weekend about that ability trade. Discard 1 card from your hand, draw 2 cards from your deck. It's so good at getting extra cards, giving you a card advantage. That is a big Professor Sycamore from Toby there. He discarded a bunch of cards, but actually, couple of energy, Buzzwole that he can't fit on his bench, Nest Ball, which could get him a Buzzwole, which he couldn't fit on his bench. So it's not, although there's a lot of cards gone away, so once again here we just see 70 damage and 30 to the bench. Hopefully, what Toby is wanting here, what he's trying to do, what he's hoping is going to happen is, if I use Jet Punch enough, yeah, my opponent might get a couple prizes, but sooner or later, there's going to be enough damage on the field that I'm going to have some monstrous turns, maybe even the fabled 4-prize turn.
Yeah, playing Buzzwole it sounds very easy because Jet Punch does quick damage and also on the bench, but you have to be a very good player to navigate it correctly because you have to decide every single time what is the correct Pokemon to deal damage to on the bench. You can see Toby could have chosen the Volcanion that is becoming active once, Turtonator that is becoming active again, but he decided to deal the damage on the Ho-Oh as Eemeli is picking up 2 more prize cards here and knocking out the Buzzwole GX. So Eemeli in a very commanding position as he gives us a little wink here into the camera. You have to like that.
That is showmanship right there. Now, Toby here needs an N in the worst way. The thing is, Eemeli's not playing these cards like Octillery, or he is actually playing one Oranguru, but oh no, wait a second, that got KO'd early in the game, and we see the end coming here from Toby. This is what we talked about early. Toby is finally now, he's taken 1 prize, but he took it on the Oranguru, and actually that might turn out to be a very important prize. The other thing I'm thinking is, I'm looking at Mind Jack on the Zoroark, and with 4 bench Pokemon, we're actually doing 130, which would be more than enough to take the KO if he can draw one of his 4 double colourless, and it doesn't look like he drew it. In fact, he didn't actually draw anything that could get the Tapu Lele out of the active as well. So, if I was Eemeli here, I am just going to use Nitro Tank GX and get a whole bunch of energy on the field. Toby's got to take 5 prizes. Eemeli's got to take 1 GX or EX KO. And what he's going to do here, I really believe he's going to use Nitro Tank GX and just go, well, now I've got my Ho-Oh built up, and I've got so many energy on so many Pokemon that it doesn't matter. Having said that, it looks like he might be going... This is just as good. Shell Trap gets 5 cards, but Kiawe gets 4 cards. So I don't know exactly how many fire he's got in the discard, but this has the same net effect, really, as using Nitro Tank GX. It gets him 2 attackers. Energy on Turtonator gets a KO. Energy on Ho-Oh... Well, there's already enough energy on Ho-Oh to get the KO. What does Toby KO? It doesn't matter, because Eemeli's got a backup Pokemon that can come in its place.
Yeah, Toby is on a clock here. So much fire energy now on Eemeli's field. And he has a Zoroark with now finally a double colors energy in the active spot. So he can pick up the KO on the active Turtonator. But at the same time, as he's evolving another Zoroark GX, he has to hope that Eemeli doesn't have access to a Guzma next turn.
Guzma will win him the game instantly. If not, it's all about getting a KO on that Ho-Oh. Certainly a Field Blower to get rid of that Fighting Fury bout would be big. Oh, it's an Enhanced Hammer, and I cannot see the other card.
It's a Volcanion, so...
I think it is a Volcanion EX. So actually now it's open. Toby could be making a little bit of a comeback here. He's going to need a Guzma. He's going to need... If he doesn't get rid of that Ho-Oh, it doesn't matter. He is going to lose the game. If he does get rid of that Ho-Oh, maybe playing a... Oh...
I like that play. So he's going into the offensive now. He knows he wants to get 1 punch in, at least pick up 1 prize card. So he is down to 1 prize card because he knows if Toby has access to a Guzma, that Ho-Oh would go down and would have nothing to respond with. Picks up fire energy. And now let's see if Toby and how Toby is going to pick up the KO on the Ho-Oh.
And let's not forget at this stage that there is a resistance to fighting. Now, it's actually very simple. If Toby's got a double colourless energy, a Field Blower, and another bench Pokemon, there's the bench Pokemon. He's now hitting 120, 150, but he's got Mallow!
Mallow plus trade equals double colourless.
And a Field Blower, they're the 2 cards he needs, which means he puts them on top of his deck, uses trade, draws them. He can then put the double colourless energy on, Field Blower the Fighting Fury bout, retreat the Red Drop with a Float Stone, get a KO. Toby might actually be able to finish this game.
This is going back and forth. Here's the trade, and obviously the Field Blower coming down, and another double colourless going down on the Zoroark here, picking up the KO on the whole GX. What is Eemeli going to do right now?
Honestly, he's probably going to Power Heater. What he needs now, he needs energy. So he's basically got 3 choices. He can Power Heater because... Oh, no, he can't Power Heater. Sorry, Toby's got 1 prize remaining. So essentially, he needs to put something in the active that can take a hit, and it's either a fresh Turtonator using Nitro Tank GX, or it is a Kiawe getting 4 energy on the field. He cannot put that Volcanion in the active, even something like a Tapu Lele with a double colourless would do 60 and get a KO on that Volcanion. The non-EX Volcanion cannot go in the active right now. He's got to put something up to take a hit, and actually Toby, who looked completely out of this game just a couple of minutes ago, he might come back and win this.
There's an Enhanced Hammer and also a Tapu Lele, so Eemeli has something to work with here. Also Fire Energy, so what is he going to be doing with it? Obviously there's going to be a supporter card, but which one is going to help him here at this point? Yeah, Professor Sycamore maybe.
It's a Sycamore or a Kiawe. They're really the only choices here. He needs to get energy on the field. There's 3 ways he can do it. It's Nitro Tank on Turtonator GX, it's Kiawe the supporter card, or it's Power Heater on the non-EX Volcanion. Problem is, Toby's got 1 prize remaining. Non-EX Volcanion does not have enough HP, especially the one on the bench that's already got 7 damage counters on it. Putting that up would be tantamount to basically saying, okay, Toby, if you've got an energy card, you win the game. Because that Boswell's already doing 50 damage. So a strong energy wins him the game. A double colourless on Zoroark GX wins him the game. He cannot put it active. The good news is, I don't think Toby can get a KO this turn on something like that Volcanion EX. Toby needs a Guzma. Great news for him. He's got Zoroark, with which he can use that trade ability, and he didn't get End.
Yeah, that would be a new situation that someone would need a Guzma to win, and this might be one of them. Eemeli has something to work with. He also has a switch in hand. He has some energy, so he could use some steam ups, but at the same time, it's not going to be picking up any KO in this turn, so he really has to hope for Toby not to have anything next turn for him to be able to still win this game.
Oh, I do like the max elixir here from Eemeli. He's hit that energy there already, so he's definitely got the energy. Taking all 6 cards gives you more information. Maybe you see cards, you see what's still in your deck, gives you a quick reminder. You don't have to just take the energy and go. And now he's getting a little bit closer. It's quite a bit to ask for, and he's not actually playing any choice band in his list. But if he could use Volcanic Heat with 3 steam ups, that would do 220 and get a KO on Zoroark. Lot to ask for, but he's playing 4 Volcanion, so it is possible.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up. He does have an Ultra Ball and 2 Fire Energy, but that's just not enough. He would need more Fire Energy, and so he's just passing. There's his strong energy Guzma, and that's equivalent to Toby taking down the first game here. So Eemeli's wink into the camera not quite paying off for him. Toby 1-0 here.
And that was a good play from Toby. You knew I didn't see the Guzma in his hand, but you saw how confidently he attached that strong energy. That wasn't I'm going to attach this and then fingers crossed, please give me a Guzma. That was step 1 before step 2 being the Guzma. And really good play from Toby there. One of the things that I think is really underrated as a skill in any game, but especially the Pokemon trading card game here. You're on stream. Everybody's watching you. There's a table judge there. You've got the headphones on, which are different. You're in an unfamiliar environment, although we have seen Toby on stream before in these official streams. And you're behind.
Ross, the voice, is commentating on your match.
You're behind, and it's kind of like you've got to keep a cool head. He's got a deck that can make comebacks. Like we said with a lot of these Buzzwole decks and Zoroark decks, Toby's is not a deck that takes giant one-hit KOs over and over. Buzzwole can get big one-hit KOs if you can get 3 separate energy attachments on with no energy acceleration, which is not particularly easy. But if you spread around enough damage in the early game, you don't need big one-hit KOs. You just finish something off like the Volcanion on the bench.
As we can see, players are setting up, which is why we can see the prize cards here. In this case, Toby, 2 double colorless energy, a Buzzwole and a Zoroark GX. Also the Lily that he used in turn 1. Well, he could have imagined a couple of better prize cards here.
Yeah, if I'm Toby, I've probably had games where I've had better prize cards. Eemeli not putting his prize cards down yet. Was there a mulligan or did he just shuffle for a moment? I missed that. But either way, he is going to be shuffling up. Not it yet. I mean, 2 double colorless. The good news for Toby is that, judging by the way people usually take their prizes, he'll take a DCE first, a double colorless energy. But also, it's not double colorless turn 1. Turn 1, turn 2, hopefully turns 3 and 4 if you can get away with it. That's Buzzwole time. Zoroark is where Buzzwole's not cutting it anymore when you've had a turn or two to evolve. So getting those double colourless in the prizes isn't terrible, but you need to get them out fairly soon. Oh, he started Buzzwole. That's nice.
There we go. Eemeli starting with Turtonator, Volcanion and Oranguru on Toby's side. Buzzwole for the win in this case. And we see Kiawe immediately coming down for Eemeli, looking for those fire energy and trying to have an explosive turn game number 2.
I see what you did there. It's presumably going on the active Turtonator, which I like, because you use Bright Flame, get rid of 2 energy. Then you attach a 3rd energy the following turn to do another Bright Flame. And this is really big. Now, he will need a Steam Up. Oh, wait, he's already got a Volcanion on the bench. If Eemeli's got 1 energy in hand, he wins now. Oh, that is not good. That was not a good turn from Toby.
That is all he has, unfortunately. Espeon EX with a Floatstone, a Choice Band. So there's quite some damage from the Jet Punch. But if that's all there is, Eemeli is really in a commanding position here. Can he pick up the KO?
No, he needed a Zoroark.
There we go. Volcanion EX, Steam Up, so that Bright Flame is going to pick up the KO on Buzzwole if he wants it.
When I said Nobler, I meant next turn Toby won't KO the Turtonator. To me, Eemeli very much has the KO. Toby needed a Zorua. Because what he could do this turn now, he could go for a Zoroark with a double colourless energy, full bench Choice Band. That would do 150, get the KO on the Turtonator. But he can't do that now. Buzzwole with a strong energy, let's say he gets a strong energy. Let's say he gets both the Regirock next turn. That's 70 damage. Sorry, 100 damage. That's not a KO. 30 plus another 20. It's not enough. It's not going to do him enough damage. He can do, 30 plus 30 for Choice Band is 60. 20 for Strong Energy is 80. 20 for the Regirock is 100. He could put Turtonator up to 160. I don't think Toby can get the KO this turn. He needed a Zorua last turn. He didn't get it. I think this game is almost as good as over.
You lost me at 30 already with that calculation. All I know is Eemeli is looking very good with that Bright Flame coming up here.
Yeah, he's going to get another Bright Flame here. And here's the thing. If Toby doesn't KO the Turtonator, and I don't think he can, then all of a sudden, not only is Eemeli, down to 4 prizes, but he's got Bright Flame ready to go next turn to take another 2 prizes. If you can take 4 prizes with 1 Pokemon, that's big. And now you've got the Oranguru on the bench, ready to go for the... So if he does get ends to 2, it's an end to at least 3.
And here we go, another pass from Toby. So if there's another Steam Up and another energy attachment, this is going to be it. Is there another energy? He can dig for it with an end, so he's thinking about it. But at the same time, he can use the Ultra Ball for another Tapu Lele. Find himself maybe a Professor Sycamore. So he's not risking Toby getting a fresh hand if he misses on the fire energy. So he's not going any risk here, not taking any risk whatsoever.
He plays a lot of fire energy, and he's probably going to hit it. But of course, he knows that Toby's hand is abysmal. He knows it's a terrible hand. So why, if you play the N and you whiff the energy, not only have you not won the game, but then you've given your opponent a fresh hand. Although
he has a switch and then an instruct maybe, so he's trying to go that route. So 1 card left in hand, that is the N. He doesn't want to play it. Instruct for 2.
No.
Well, the Max Elixir can get him there.
Fighting
and that
Fury
will work
Bout
as well.
is enough. Because, of course, Bright Flame does 160, Fighting Fury Bout does an extra 10, and Espeon EX has 170 HP. I mean, the chances of him missing it, playing the Sycamore to 7, would be extremely slim. But it could happen.
Yeah, Eemeli didn't want to take the risk, and here he equalizes the game. For Toby, there was nothing he could work with, so really nothing that Toby could do about it. But these games just happen in the Pokemon trading card game.
There is an element of luck, like there is in a lot of games, and unfortunately, the way the cards come out of your deck, and there is a certain skill to it. There is a skill to building your deck to make it more consistent. This is why we have teams of players who work together to build and test decks as a group to maximize the chances of having a consistent deck that sets up game after game. But just because you've got a consistent deck does not mean there won't be occasional games where that happens.
It has to happen eventually. I see lots of screenshots on the internet with dead hands starting, and this only happens in Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Nope, it even happens on live stream, and it could happen to you.
And it's kind of interesting because I see so many pictures, people posting, oh, look at my terrible opening hand. I don't see many people posting, hey, look at my amazing opening hand. I'm going to win this game.
Nope, that doesn't happen either. So maybe in a parallel universe. So we know here's another mulligan from Eemeli, so giving Toby another card to draw, maybe avoiding what just happened. So getting access to 8 cards here. But it just does happen. Luck is a factor in the Pokemon trading card game. And you know that the pros, the best of the best that show up in the top 8, that show up in the final every time and again, they optimize, of course, the deck list so that luck is a minimal factor for them.
And it's not a coincidence. You see players like Tord Reklev, Robin Schultz, Igor Costa. There are Sam Chen this year. There are certain players that just top cut tournament after tournament after tournament. If we had a particularly luck-based game, that wouldn't happen. So there is an element of luck, but there's also an element of skill in minimising your luck. Good news is, you do not get to the records that these players have at this stage of the tournament. Is it round 8 we're in now?
Yeah.
You don't get on stream in round 8 if you're not having a good day. These players are having a good day, and they have got good decks. So yeah, Toby had a bad game, and he didn't draw well, and that's not very nice. I would not expect to see this happening again.
We got a little glimpse here at the hand for Eemeli. Luckily for him, he finds himself an Ultra Ball in that hand because, oh, there's also a Professor Sycamore there. Because if he didn't, well, that would have been another disaster because he's starting with Oranguru again. And on the other side, Buzzwole.
2 Buzzwole, in fact. I'm not going to try and match your cadence on that one. But we have a Buzzwole with an energy. We have a Buzzwole on the bench. Big question, the burning question. Does he have a supporter card?
Yeah, and a Gladion coming from Toby. We haven't seen that one quite often, and Eemeli makes sure to read that card. So he is picking up the prize cards, as we can see. And again, you can pick up one of these, and Gladion goes into the prize cards, and he's even down there, so he might pick it up very quickly again.
Here's a test for you. Did you see the card he grabbed?
Nope.
Professor Sycamore. Gladion is not a card we've actually seen. I don't think I've seen it on stream once so far. It's a new supporter card that we got in Sun and Moon Crimson Invasion. Lets you grab a card from your prizes that you select, switch it with Gladion. And I'm just going to go ahead and guess Toby's probably not going to draw that particular prize for a while. Oh no, you have to shuffle up after Gladion.
He just shuffled.
Of course,
and that's why it's in the best position to be picked up right again, and Toby won't like it.
That would be slightly annoying. Good news is, it's another start, not a great start for him, but he's got a Professor Sycamore for next turn. Again, he wants Zorua. There's a really good interplay in Toby's deck between hitting with Buzzwole and then finishing off with Zoroark. 2 Buzzwole generally won't get a KO, but a Buzzwole followed with a Zoroark often will, as long as you're using the right damage amplifiers like Fighting Fury Bout and Regirock and Choice Band and Regirock and all of that. So he needs to get a Zorua down sooner rather than later. Not a bad turn 1 from him though.
No, and also for Eemeli, he's perfectly playing down his hand and slapping down another Fire Energy for a Steam Up, and Toby appreciating exactly that. Here we go, Power Heater. It's dealing 60 damage because of the Fighting Fury Belt and the Steam Up, and there's a second energy going to Buzzwole.
Indeed, and he's actually had to attach an energy to... Oh, Field Blower's nice. There is a second energy that had to be attached to the Oranguru because, of course, you got no choice. Power Heater has to attach 1 fire energy from your discard to each of 2 of your bench Pokemon. Have more than 2? Have a choice. Don't have more than 2? 1 on each. I don't think Eemeli wants to be attacking with Oranguru this game.
Nope, I don't think this is going to be coming up anytime soon. But the Jet Punch did, and there's 30 damage for the Volcanion and 1 for the Volcanion EX on the bench. Steam Up here from Eemeli and an N.
And I think Toby's working on a Knuckle Impact here. 160 for free energy, and then you can't attack the following turn. But of course, there's ways around it, like Zoroark standing into the active and then retreating. There's ways around it. Get out the active, you'll be fine. But as long as Eemeli doesn't get a KO on this Buzzwole next turn, then Toby could potentially be doing 180, 200 damage using things like... Well, he's already got the Choice Band on, so he's already doing 190, which won't be enough for a Ho-Oh with a fighting resistance, but all he needs is a strong energy or a couple of Regirock. He'll be fine.
And he even has the Guzma to give him access to whatever Eemeli chooses to bench on his bench there, and we see a Max Elixir going down, so only target really makes sense. That would be Volcanion EX, but that is in danger of being knocked out next turn.
It is in danger of being KO'd next turn, and this is what Toby can do, as long as he's got the third energy and away, because when he Guzmas, he's got to put something in the active, so he needs to get that out of the active to get the Buzzwole back into the active. But if he can pull it off, he can go after whatever is the threat on Eemeli's side of the board. Oh, you've got one Volcanion EX with energy, and then you've got an Oranguru and a Volcanion with one energy on each. Okay, the Volcanion, if it's all right with you.
And there's so many different supporter cards in Eemeli's hand. I think I saw 2 Professor Sycamore and 2 Guzma. So very tough situation for him. And now Toby finds 2 Zorua. Not sure if he has another Floatstone maybe to pull this one off.
Unfortunately, I don't think he does, nor does he actually have the third energy. He has got a double colourless energy in his hand, but of course we can see on the screen there that the energy cost for Knuckle Impact is free fighting. There is no colourless attack cost. And this sometimes happens if you're playing 4 fighting, 4 strong, 4 double colourless, as Toby is playing, sometimes you're not going to have the right energy.
Now, Buzzwole is not the most flexible of Pokemon there is. It only consumes fighting energy, and that's why Toby is going for the Professor Sycamore. He has to skip on the Guzma play, he figures.
If you had muscles like that, you would not be that flexible either.
Wait a minute.
Apparently, he's not skipping on the Guzma play. I like this. He's only doing 100 damage with Tapu Lele, fine. But he's still doing 100 with Tapu Lele, and here's crucial, now that Volcanion's in the active, it's going to get KO'd by a Jet Punch next turn, rather than having to waste a Knuckle Impact, so I would expect him to put the fresh Buzzwole up and attack next turn, rather than the damaged Buzzwole. But also, he's basically going, KO my Tapu Lele.
And Eemeli looks like, I see what you did there, but I don't really have an answer to it just yet. Max Elixir coming, let's see if he's lucky with the 6 card he's looking at.
But then, these are not the Pokemon to whom he wants to be attaching energy. He wants energy
Oranguru, is it happening? yeah, he gives us the smile, I love you.
I want to get this dude on stream more often. He's very entertaining.
And he decides against it, so Volcanion gets the energy.
The thing is, though, right, he wants energy on a Ho-Oh to do a big attack, or a Turtonator to do a big attack, or at a push, a Volcanion EX to do a fairly big attack. But the thing is that Volcanic Heat needs to be buffed up using Steam Up, whereas the other Pokemon don't. Oh, unless, of course, this I like, he's going to get a KO with the non-EX Volcanion. No energy being attached from the discard. That was 100 damage, Steam Artillery, but he just took a GX KO for 2 prizes with a non-GX, non-EX Pokemon. Putting free energy on 130 HP Pokemon is a little risky because it's not going to stay around for that long. But trading 2 prizes for 1, that is something very good players do.
Yeah, that's exactly what he likes. And now the Jet Punch, now that Volcanion EX is on the bench, that Jet Punch is not going to be increased in damage by the Choice Band, at least not on the bench. So that is safe for now when we see a Zoroark GX hitting the field for the first time here in the 3rd game. And he's trading in immediately the Po-Town.
Yeah, getting that trade, getting it back. I mean, he got the Red Giraffe, which is very nice indeed. And he is doing 60 and 30 to the bench. But is this actually enough? I mean, Eemeli here is in a great position. He can just do 100 damage with the non-EX Volcanion and then just take advantage of having a turn or 2 to set up. He needs energy on the field.
And I love this. There's the Max Elixir. Is he fine? No fire energy for the Oranguru. Nope, not even the 6. Yeah, he would have loved to do that. And I would love him to do that as well.
That's the same little peek we saw at the end of last game when he was searching for the Fighting Fury about Ore Energy. Becoming a little bit of a tell of his.
Yep, he didn't find it, but I think he has a Professor Sycamore to follow it up, so he might, free Sycamore, 2 energy, oh well. Steam up.
It's a lot to ask, but if he gets 3 Volcanion EX, or another 2 Volcanion EX and another 2 energy, he could actually do 190 with Steam Artillery and win the game right now. Does he have it? I don't think he does. He's got it 1 more, but I think that's it. Maybe he wants to hit for 160. Apparently he does. But, the enhanced hammer. I like it.
Nice.
The other option is he could Power Heater for 80 here, while accelerating energy. And now he's got the kind of Pokemon on his bench that he really wants to get energy on, like Turtonator. If he's not getting the KO anyway, I think I would just go for the Power Heater here.
And he decides to go for the retreat, it looks like, and Volcanion EX is coming active.
Or he can do that.
Yeah, of course, and 2 heat up mean that he can pick up the KO on the Buzzwole here.
He's doing exactly 190. That is exactly how much he needs to do. And once again, Toby is really on the back foot. Having said that, we did see this in game 1, and we still see here he's not got enough energy on the board. Eemeli, I'm talking about here. Oranguru can do 100 with Psychic, which is all right, but then it will get one hit KO back.
Yeah, Zoroark GX is back, and here is an end because Eemeli has a very strong hand here, and very many cards in hand. So Toby figures, I need that end to make that comeback happen.
And once again, although Toby's not taken any prizes, we've got a Volcanion on the bench that's only got 60 HP remaining. We've got 40 HP remaining. We have got a Volcanion in the active that, I mean, I'm just going to say it's not got much HP remaining. You'll have to take my word for it. It's actually only got 20 HP remaining. What would have been great here would be a Guzma trying to take out both the Oranguru and the Volcanion, but he doesn't have bench space for the Buzzwole. It's all hypothetical. He takes his first 2 prizes. Eemeli's got a hand of 2. And what does he attack with now? Maybe he does a little bit with Power Heater. And this is why I was thinking Power Heater the previous turn. We saw Eemeli lose game 1 because he ran out of energy. Great start, not enough energy. And I'm just wondering if maybe we might see that happening again here. If Toby can have a couple of really good turns, maybe he can swing the tide because, well, there's just not much energy on Eemeli's side of the field.
Is Eemeli running out of steam here? He finds himself the Ultra Ball, so he can find a Pokemon and then use Instruct from Oranguru to get 3 additional cards without wasting a supporter card. It's really comes up to, he finds himself a Tapu Lele, so he has access to another supporter card if he doesn't find one from the Oranguru.
He's just going Kiawe here. He actually, he took the Kiawe, started counting out energy, and then went, oh, wait a second. I'm playing an Ultra Ball, should probably grab a Pokemon, that being Tapu Lele, for the Kiawe, for the energy. We've all been there. I've Ultra Balled for a Professor Sycamore more than once.
That's a little bit too fast for us here, so there we go. That is the right sequencing, so there's the Kiawe. He shuffles, though, so he decides to not again waste his turn because he can still Instruct.
He can indeed. He doesn't need to play the Kiawe here. Of course, Kiawe ends your turn, so it's better, if you don't have a free card hand, use Oranguru to get a free card hand, and then play the Kiawe.
There we go. 1 Turtonator and a Guzma.
And that was a great draw, because if I'm Eemeli, I want the Kiawe energy on a Turtonator. I don't want it on a Volcanion. Although, he does not agree with... Oh, he's already got a Turtonator.
And he chooses the Turtonator, so here we go.
It's a very shiny card.
I like that a lot. Yeah, it's tough to make out sometimes. So he goes for 3 fire energy. We know he has a Guzma in hand, so now Toby is under a lot of pressure here.
And I think it's just going to need to be an end down to 2 maybe here. But once again, no, I mean, really it needs to be a Guzma. It's got to be a Guzma KO on the Turtonator, but I don't think he's got any way of KOing the Turtonator. Toby's deck is built to spread damage in the early game and finish Pokemon off in the late game. It is not built for big one-hit KOs. I mean, even something like a Mind Jack. Oh, it's another Gladion.
Oh.
This is kind of cool.
There's a double colors and he is eyeing the double colors out immediately. There's also a Guzma, so that could be used next turn because Gladion is a supporter card. So let's see what he's eyeing out. Neither of them. I wasn't quite able to make it out.
I think he's got to take one of them.
Yeah, it was no double colors and it was not the Guzma because both of them return. What kind of card did he pick up? It was Acerola.
It was Acerola, thank you. Honestly, looking at Toby here, even a Mind Jack. It does 130.
This is it? If Eemeli has another fire energy, that's it?
He would need to... What's he doing? No, he would need...
He has the Guzma, but he doesn't have the fire energy yet. He can dig.
He can dig, because he's only at the moment doing 160. He needs a fighting... He needs Fighting Fury Belt or an energy. He can Instruct for 2. Does he get it?
He's peeking again.
He's peeking.
One more card.
He doesn't look happy. He hasn't slammed it down on the table. I think he's missed it. Toby, this is where you breathe a big sigh of relief if you're Toby. Here's the thing, though. He hasn't got a KO on the Turtonator. He can do 130, which for 1 energy on a non-GX Pokemon is phenomenal. But it's not enough. Oh, I like this. Because Regirock's got a very large retreat cost.
Yeah, he's trying to put that Regirock in the active spot, and there's the Shell Trap in case Toby can somehow retreat that Regirock. The new attacking Pokemon is going to take some damage. However, Toby has lots of outs here, and he could always use that Zoroark stand-in ability.
And I think that's what he's going to have to do here. Although he did put the energy on the Zoroark GX, I would have been tempted to just stand in with the Breakthrough Zoroark, do 130 damage, while basically saying to my opponent, if you don't have a Guzma, you're only getting one prize. He's taken a prize. I like this because he knows that Eemeli doesn't have the card he needs to win. He knows that because otherwise Eemeli would have won last turn. So that's good. If Eemeli doesn't top deck it now, Toby can end him to 2 cards maybe, while not leaving him with the Oranguru to actually have it. Oh,
he gets the Fire Energy. Yep, let's figure this one out. Steam up, Guzma, that's it.
And Eemeli does win. That means hopefully we're going to have an interview with him. And one of the questions I want the lovely Nick Pierce to ask, Jamie Serhan I should say, I think he's doing the interview, how